are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful today. Today's a nice day in Holland. Today is a nice day in the world. And stay right there. I talk to you in 5 seconds, yeah?
That's no problem.
Don't go nowhere. Oh,
No,
people,
no
people,
problem.
people. Election is done in Jamaica. Yeah? Who win, win, who lose, lose. We stop talking about that. We all hear about what this brown man do. This brown man a man devil. Him go so boom, him slap a two, him slap a one man for what? A dozen egg? Him go buy him egg. Them say him have $1,000, 12 feet. Man say no, 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 no. 1,200 for me 6 egg or me dozen egg. Him say no, brown man give him one or two and say alright, hold them there. It's not a laughing matter. But let me tell you something, people. I don't want you everything on mental health, but sometimes people going through some nonsense. Him just wake up and having a bad day, and the man decide him pass him breaking point. Him say, yo, brown man say, yo, nothing more. So him just go up on a shooting spree. You understand? Him know. Brown man know when him start the day. Him say, yo, today is the day. Today is a sticky day. And him just play it out on the streets of Mandeville. And we all know what Broadman is not here anymore. But it is entertaining. It is entertaining, remember me tell you. And guess what? There are a lot more Broadman running around Jamaica. A lot of Jamaicans are at that breaking point. No. The guy who died first for the egg, maybe him shouldn't just... Although I know the ego of Jamaicans. You come, you bad me up for my egg, and my egg when I give no egg. Tell you about your mother. You understand me? I said, tell the man about his mother. No, him not here anymore. Maybe him should just say, yo, listen to me, bro. Listen to me. All right, go, go, go. You would be here. Sometimes we have to know when to take the loss. You see? But, yeah, it's not funny, but I just saw a thing said, hours, shoot out for hours. Ra, 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 ra. Jamaica is like a Netflix series. At any day, anything can happen. But yeah, I just saw a thing said. Me hear say how much him slap a tree, him slap a two more while him going home. Yeah, a Wild West. Brown man just say, yo, I eat that. Again, another story in America. This black dude. See this Ukrainian girl come on the tree. Just analyze the girl on the tree like that. It's like, people, you have some mad people running around here. Some crazy people running around here on the planet. It just, now you have to be careful. You see, I just saw a thing said. But no, forget all that. Put that aside a little. Right now, we have a superstar. You see me? From the motherland. From the motherland, which is Africa. And talk about Africa, you know. You see, when you look on the map, and you say Russia looks so big, Greenland looks so big, America looks so big, and Russia and China, every continent looks so big, and Africa just look right down there, so lie. Lie them and tell. The entire Europe can roll into Africa. Greenland, Congo is bigger than Greenland. That is one country in Africa. You see the white man perpetrate a fraud. Just pure wickedness. But can we accuse the white man of hiding it? Maybe one time, but no information open up. No, predominantly black country can just draw them up. Just draw it. We don't have to wait for a European to draw them up. Draw it and put it out and say, yo, I'm sure there's a map somewhere, the right map, you see me? That the African can draw and say, yo, this portray the real thing. You see me? Because Africa double size of a lot of those continent, but I just saw things set there. Hello, Queen.
Hello, how are you doing, Michael?
Oh, I'm doing.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, The pleasure is all mine. The pleasure is all mine. That's me. Today we have to talk about you. Yeah. First of all, tell the listeners. Yeah. Where are you from, my darling?
I am from Zimbabwe. So my background is a little bit interesting. So
Please go ahead. We have
I'm,
all the time in the
I'm
world. The mic is yours.
uh, thank you very much. No, I was born in Zimbabwe. I'm from a small town outside of the capital, like 3 hours from the capital called Gutu Mpandawana. It's actually one of the most historical townships in Zimbabwe, if I'm not mistaken. And then I moved to Ireland when I was 5. My father got a
But
job as an
one
engineer.
second. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. What's the capital of Zimbabwe? For those who
The
don't
capital
know.
is Harare.
Harare?
Harare. Yes. Spelled
Harare.
Harare.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry. Then you move to Europe. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Continue.
then I moved to Europe. I was living in Ireland. We lived here for 11 years. So my parents' jobs took us to, a few places, and so we then moved back to Zimbabwe. And then, funny enough, I actually lived in the Netherlands. I lived in Groningen for 6 jaar. Yeah,
Yeah? Say
yeah,
then
ik woonde
so.
in Groningen for 6 jaar. Yeah, very much so.
Yeah? Go
I
ahead.
lived in Groningen. I was studying at the university. I was in Groningen for 6 years, and then moved back to Ireland, and now I'm back in Zimbabwe full time. So I've kind of been all over, but the motherland, I guess, always called me back home.
As it should, as it should. I am very much embarrassed because I have never been to Africa, never been to a country in Africa. It's sad. Yeah? A lot of time
Oh,
we have been to see the Eiffel Tower, see Rome. We go there and here and everywhere in Europe, but I have never been to Africa. That's yeah. I think I will go to Ghana, but it's not about me, isn't it? Um
no, I don't think there's anything to be embarrassed by. I actually think if you've never been, it's not anything to be embarrassed by. I actually think it's an opportunity for you to say, okay, because I've never been there, I have the chance to start wherever I want to start. And I would invite you to come to Zimbabwe. We're very nice, we're very warm. The women are lovely, the food is nice, the music is great. I think you'll like it.
pause on the food, but and the women, but I will come for the scenery. You see me? And what's what's so special about Zimbabwe now? When somebody talk about Jamaica, we talk about the culture. Is so rich in Jamaica. We don't know. We can talk about the people, about the music, all that, the beaches, the Blue Mountain or coffee. When people talk about Zimbabwe,
Mm.
tell me if you are the minister of tourism in Zimbabwe. What would you
Mm.
tell me to attract me to Zimbabwe, please?
Oh, firstly, I would say we have one of the largest waterfalls in the world. The original name is Mosia Tunya. Many people know it as Victoria Falls, but
Oh yeah.
the local name is Mosia Tunya. And it's one of it. They call it Mosia Tunya. Basically means what's it called? The smoke that thunders, because the waterfall is so big that the surrounding area almost looks like it's smoke. It doesn't even look like mist or water. It actually looks like smoke, and it's so loud that it actually sounds like thunder. Especially during the rainy seasons. It's quite scary if you're a child, but if you're an adult, it's really beautiful. Zimbabwe as well, I think, has a very, very, very rich history in terms of culture and religion. Before colonization, we had African traditional religion, which is basically a religion that is centered around the creator of the world. In Zimbabwe, we call him Musikavanu, which basically means the creator of people. And the spiritual helpers that he has in our ancestors and also in the creatures of the water. And we have a very, very strong, very, very strong culture of family and heritage and the importance of legacy. So we still have, you know, for example, the Great Zimbabwe, which was owned by a very powerful king called King Munumutapa. So if you really like history, if you really like nature, if you really like learning about different faith and spirituality, I think Zimbabwe is the perfect place to come. And our food really is nice. I know they say Africa is great for the food, but Zimbabwean food is very, very nice because it caters to many people. If you're vegan, you will like Zimbabwean food because there's a lot of vegan food as well. But if you like meat, there's a lot of meat too. So anyone that eats anything is welcome in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I would come, but I would definitely not try the vegan. I believe vegan is overhyped. It's overrated, isn't it? There's nothing special about eating grass.
Same. I like meats
Yeah,
personally.
I like meat, isn't it? Let me see what's up.
Yeah.
Ooh, let me see what's up in here. Oh, yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I am actually recording. One time, I did not press the button, and I was here talking and for real. Okay, you said before colonization, yeah?
Yes.
Is Zimbabwe still under colonization?
Not anymore. We gained our independence April 18th in 1980. We were under British rule for a little over a century. And there were also some Irish settlers here as well. And I know a couple hundred years ago, there was an attempt, a failed attempt by the Portuguese and the Italians, I believe, to come here, but we managed to fight them away. So we're not legally colonized anymore, but I think mentally,
Ah,
unfortunately, here we still, we still speak English. A lot of people actually, a lot of young people, don't even understand the native language anymore, which is very heartbreaking. I have a lot of people who say that I'm better because of the way that I speak, but, I wish I had a Zimbabwean accent. I wish that I grew up here. So mentally, we still have a bit of that colonization, but we are getting better. A lot of people are coming back to our roots. We are coming back to our culture, back to our language. A lot of us are moving back home, like I did. We're coming back to our religion. So there is progress. There is improvement.
what's the main resource in Zimbabwe that the thief want, the Europeans want?
Um, we have a lot of minerals. So I don't know if you heard about the gold mafia, actually, which was a documentary that was released by Al Jazeera.
No,
I
no,
think about a year ago, 2 years ago.
no. I
So
have.
Zimbabwe has a lot of gold, a
Yeah.
lot of nickel. We have a lot of gold and nickel and diamonds as well. And so a lot of people really, so Europe has their eye on us, China especially. I think this year alone we had over 80,000 new Chinese residents come to Zimbabwe, and now they're getting involved in mining. And there's now reports of a lot of the foreign miners now disrespecting the local customs and the local chiefs. And so we have a lot of gold, and they really, really want us for that.
Okay. Here's a tricky question now. Who should I
Yes.
blame? Because sometimes I have guests here from Ghana, from Nigeria. Who is to be blamed? Your government or the outsiders? Yeah? Who?
Hmm. I think I think it's a collective responsibility. Obviously, whenever I look at things like history, when I look at things like connection, I always try to say what was the first cause, right? And a lot of people think the first cause was colonization, but I think colonization was the symptom of the cause already. I think, to my understanding of how Zimbabwe operated, we had a very strong kingdom and we traded a lot with Portuguese, with Italians, with the British. There was a lot of trading that was done. But unfortunately, for whatever reason, I don't know why, and this is just my opinion, of course, but for whatever reason, we were not suspicious enough of them. The one thing that I don't like, but I also respect about Europeans is that they are very suspicious.
Exactly.
They are very suspicious of foreigners. They are very suspicious of outsiders. Even if they're very nice, they don't compromise their security and their culture and their resources. But I think for whatever reason, the culture in Africa is so open that it makes us blind to people who are taking advantage of us. And so we're not suspicious enough. We don't we don't investigate enough when someone offers a deal. For whatever reason, the African man and the African woman does not seem to understand that if someone comes to you with a deal that is too good to be true, you
It
need to
usually
ask
is,
why.
yeah.
We didn't have that suspicion. So I think it was very easy for them to infiltrate. I believe, at least in Zimbabwe, colonization was not overnight. It happened very slowly, but very firmly because we were not suspicious. We didn't take time to really investigate. We didn't take time to think about what um, the deals that we signed today would do, not just in 20 years, but in even a few hundred years. When the Europeans were colonizing Africa, They weren't just thinking of the 5-year plan, the
Yeah.
10-year plan, the 20-year plan. They had a generational plan. They were saying, how can we colonize this place for generations? And I think, you know, that's a blind spot that we had. I don't know why we had that blind spot. So that's the first cause. But then obviously colonization came in, and colonization was very violent. So then that becomes the second cause, because when you come to somebody's land and when you finally gain control, if you inflict violence upon the people and you strip away their language, you strip away their religion,
Yeah.
obviously then you have them mentally colonized. So then that becomes the second cause. And now I think, you know, it's no secret that when the colonizers were leaving, they left behind some of their old systems. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if some African leaders, I'm not just saying this about Zimbabwe, I'm just saying in general, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if some African leaders, you know, were left behind on purpose by, you know, by the colonizers to maintain control. If we look at what's happening in Francophone Africa, so much of the currency that's used is still being taken back to France. So it's a collective responsibility, I think. Yes.
I will reiterate the question, eh? Because no, not 100 years ago nor 50 years ago. Right now,
Hmm.
why? Who's to be blamed? Your prime minister, the one that is in power now, or the one that was in power maybe 5, 10 years ago. Who is to be blamed? Because
Um,
no, we have the information at our fingertips.
hmm.
The colonizers cannot come with the same trick. No, they have to come with,
Hmm.
with bombs and bullets. You understand? Like they did
Yeah.
Gaddafi, so the entire planet can see. Gone are the days when
Hmm.
they can come and in the middle of the night strategically and try to control the mind first. You understand? No, I look at a country like say blah blah blah, any country in Africa now, Burkina Faso. You hear about
Hmm.
that guy?
Yes, yeah, Ibrahim Traore.
Yeah, Tory. What do you think about him? Before I sorry to veer, I'm all over the place like bird shit. But
That's
I
okay.
love talking about Africa. I love talking about Africa. So every chance I get, I have people here and
That's
I just have a
okay.
conversation because I want to know how Africa lose everything and Africa has
Hmm.
everything, but yet still we look Africans looking towards the white man for aid. Oh, is that possible? Oh, you looking when you have everything? Are you scared to fight? Is Africa scared to fight? You
Hmm.
see me? Africans will go and eat each other. Africans cannot travel across their own border. You see me? But a
Yeah,
European from anywhere can come and just drop it anywhere without visa, just walk willy
come in.
nilly.
Yeah. Yep. Get their visa
It
at the
is
airport.
mind boggling.
Hmm.
And I think the Europeans did such a good work on African mentally. Mentally, they
Hmm.
did a phenomenal job that even
Big time.
today, Africans still don't see it. And they
Yeah,
will
we.
crucify you. They will chastise you who is trying to open their eyes. It is just phenomenal. And I agree with
Hmm.
you. I agree with you when you say, oh, if it's one thing you have to admire, you don't love it, but you admire it and you understand it. That culturally, Europeans keep their culture private. You understand? They hang on to their culture. I was speaking to a
Hmm.
friend of mine. Well, I'm not his friend, you understand, but a colleague. And he said, yo, in the summer 2 years ago, he just put his backpack on his back and he traveled the world. I said, yeah. He went to Africa. He went all over Africa and he did this thing. I'm like, okay. Then he looked at me and said, yo, I should do it. And I couldn't explain to him why I could not do it. I cannot put a backpack on my back and say I'm traveling to Poland and hitchhike. Nobody will take me. But they take him. You see me? And then when you go to Africa,
Yeah.
they take him across Africa. Backpacking across Africa. He go into to some of the war-torn place and they usher him through. You see me? Me as a Jamaican, some countries might welcome me and some will look at me suspiciously. In Africa, it's 50-50 in Africa. But here in Europe,
Hmm.
I'm sure I can do it. Sorry for that long diatribe.
Mm-hmm.
You see me? So sometimes I look at the politicians, yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I am an objective thinker. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I would rather see you go down fighting and die rather than just go
Mm-hmm.
on your knees because and then die 10 years after. So between now and 10 years,
Mm-hmm.
you just waste your life because you will die anyway. So better you die today, and then your
Mm-hmm.
children will survive and have another chance to live. More than you just bow, you concede today. You understand? Capitulate today.
Yeah.
You understand? It's just mind-boggling. Gaddafi,
Yes.
Gaddafi went down fighting. You see me?
Big time.
You
Yeah.
understand?
They
And
took
I
him down.
and I always and I always tell people, listen, you see this guy what they call Obama, he's the worst
Mm-hmm.
president for black people ever. And they just don't understand. I
Mm-hmm.
say look what Gaddafi, look what he went through. You understand? Say call him
Mm-hmm.
terrorist. Like you're crazy or you call him a terrorist just because he want to uplift his own country, sell his own
Mm-hmm.
resources. You understand? Sell them, you cannot just come and take it. And you call that man
Yeah.
terrorist, you see me? It's the same thing Putin doing now. That's why they demonize Putin. Putin only want to build his own country, you see me? Cut from the international
Mm-hmm.
bankers them. Oh, you love Putin? No, I don't love Putin. You see me? I don't care about that white guy. But I see what him
Yeah.
doing. It's the same thing Gaddafi did. But Gaddafi don't have nuclear
Yeah.
weapon. You understand? So they kind of jump on Putin like how they jump on Gaddafi. You see me?
Yeah.
It's a mindset. Black people will quickly fight other black people. You understand? They quickly fight
Big
other
time.
black people.
Mm-hmm.
But they will not fight the Europeans for
Yeah.
some reason. They just don't want to
Mm-hmm.
go. They just don't want to offend the white daddy. And it's mental. It's mental slavery. You see me?
I
Again,
believe so.
my diatribe I went on.
No, I no. Oh, that's okay. No, I think so it's layered, right? I think on the one hand, I think there's the general understanding that currently, to answer your question about why now, who is at fault, before I can say who is at fault, if I look at how the world works, there, if we look at the rules of international law, if we look at the rules of, international customary law and the treaties that are signed, a lot of those rules were created with not a single African in the room.
Exactly.
A lot of the rules of the United Nations, a lot of the rules, even in the UN Charter, the system and the world order that we're currently living in was created without Africa in mind and without Asia in mind. I think they only gave a little bit of room to the Middle East and Israel and all of that. But generally, so I think there's that also, we have the understanding that they can bomb other countries without any consequence, but we can't bomb countries without consequence. And that's because they possess resources that they, through sanctions and through trading rules and through trading laws and all of that stuff, they have strategically kept us out of the game and kept us out of the seats of the table because of the laws that have been created. So I think from a practical perspective, it could be because literally, if Africa were to fight back, as you said with Gaddafi, if we look at even the threats against, Ibrahim, if you look at, Thomas Sankara, if we
Yeah.
look at all of these wonderful revolutionary African and Pan-African leaders, if we go even to the United States and then we go to Malcolm X and, Martin Luther, if we look at even Garvey and all of those, strong, mighty, African men and Black men who were very much for the people, they were easily taken down because they literally did not possess the resources to defend themselves the way that the West has. And it was set up like that on purpose. And so I think that's one element. I also think on the other element, I was reading somewhere that it takes about 4 generations for your body to recover from a history of poverty and famine. And so because colonization only really ended in the last 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, I can imagine that we're probably only 2 generations away from that. So we still have even also from another genetic perspective, I think to recover from the mental colonization that the African man and the African woman was put under, I think we do need a couple of generations. But going back as well to what you said that we have a lot of information on our hands, and that's very true. We have a lot of information on our hands, and that's why we're beginning to see this new, I don't know if you can feel it, but I can feel it's very slow, but it's very steady and it's very loud. This new energy that's coming out of the average Black person now, from the Caribbean, from the United States, from, the Afro Europeans and the Caribbean Europeans, and, the African diaspora in general, where we're now more curious about us. Those who grew up in, if you're African and you grew up away from Africa, you will know that so many African children had to adopt English names just so they could survive. But now no one is doing that. Now you find that the people who once used to try to take English names are now happily giving their children very African names. It's now cool again to be African. We're even beginning to see, Afro beats, touching African American culture. So I do think that we are slowly coming back to ourselves. We're just still too early in the game. But then I also do think as well, and I don't want to be controversial because I have no, that's, it's really not my intention. I think as Africans, we don't see our value the way that the white man sees our value. They call, people don't colonize things that have no value. You only colonize something that can greatly benefit you. So it's funny how the white man seems to see what Africa has, but the black man and the black woman doesn't have that same vision, because there are still so many Africans that are trying to leave. They don't see the business opportunities in gold the way that the Chinese man does, the way that the white man does. They don't see the value in, African love and African marriage and African traditional systems. For example, if you now there's a lot of issues of when a lot of the, when a lot of, the, I guess, the Westerners and the Asians come here, they see African women and they're like, oh my goodness. In my experience, I've had men from China literally offer me money simply because they thought I was beautiful, because for them, the value of an African woman is something that, for whatever reason, it's almost like they can see exactly what we have to offer, and it's easy for them to then take advantage of us. But then, as Black people, we have the tendency to criticize us first before we see the value and before we see the good. And so I think, even if we look at the way, like, it breaks my heart, for example, whenever I see Black men and Black women in the West and in the diaspora speak negatively to each other. No woman is perfect, no man is perfect, but some of the abuse that we give to each other, really, it's not just men, it's not just women. I think it very much is men and women really hurting each other. There's a lack of value on the African body that we just seem to lack that for whatever reason. I think, yes, we can say it's colonization, but also you would think that it's an instinct for us to want to protect each other, because we're not the only race that have been colonized. Asians have also been colonized. Even Irish people, like white people, they were colonized. But for whatever reason, they were still able to maintain that closeness to each other. They are still able to see the value in each other. Some of them even had more colonization than we did. But for whatever reason, we just seem to be the only ones that see. It seems like the issues that we faced as a race have separated us instead of bringing us together. Whereas if you go to any other culture, any threats against that culture brings them closer together. On an extreme level, you see it in the form of young European men marching down the streets saying, we don't want immigrants anymore.
As they
If
should
you
not.
go
They
to,
shouldn't want it.
pardon?
They have a right, and I agree with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes,
Or, for example, you find that in Arabic culture, so many Arab men will date Black women and white women, and they'll be their girlfriends, and they'll even take them to the family. But when it comes time to get married, they know who they know that whatever happens, I'm marrying an Arab woman. So for whatever reason, there's a disconnect amongst Black people with one another that I still haven't been able to pinpoint, because this might sound controversial. I actually think it started before colonization. I'm still doing my research, so I can't say, I can't tell you why I think this, but just my instinct within me thinks that it could be that there was already a gap in how we related to one another, that the white man saw and said, okay, divide and conquer. There's a gap in that relationship. Let's go and make them hate each other. So, but I still don't know why, because I don't think colonization is the first cause. I think colonization was an eventual result of something that was already happening. But I don't have enough research yet.
Yeah. Because back in Africa, those times, tribe would fight against other tribe. Because the first ship
Mm,
that was filled with slave, they were sold by blacks to the whites, yeah?
mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would go and invade another tribe and take the guys and just say, hey, white man, here, isn't me?
Yeah, prisoner of war.
Yeah,
Yeah,
prisoner of war
a lot
thing.
of the slaves were prisoners of war.
Yeah, so yeah, okay. I've never dived so deep into that thing, but yeah, maybe you have a point, yeah. But I heard you said because we have this information at our fingertips that you can see a wind of change, yeah. You can
Mm-hmm.
see the minds being opened up of this younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I have to disagree with you. I think it's getting worse.
Okay. Oh,
You understand?
really?
Yes, these younger guys, these the Gen Z they call them. If
Yeah.
we the older folks, I don't know how old you are, but I think my generation has failed this Gen Z crowd. You are under
Mm-hmm.
25, these young boys. How can I look and say, oh, they are the saviors?
Mm-hmm.
When half of them are, for lack of a better word, they are feminized. You see me? A lot of these boys,
Mm.
they are not man.
Yeah,
They
they
just
are
grew up
feminine. I agree.
very
I agree.
feminine. You see me?
Mm-hmm.
So when you say yeah, the next two generation it might be better, it's getting totally worse. I think we are
Mm-hmm.
on a slippery slope and we are too far gone. Maybe I'm wrong. I
Really?
hope. Maybe I pray I'm wrong. But yo, when I close my eyes and I look, there are no more warriors. Not that they were warriors in my time, but you see me? As young as this
Yeah.
Burkina Faso guys, and I still believe, maybe, I pray he's not, but I think he switched out American and European influence for Putin. I hear that he's
Mm.
heavily backed by Putin. But because
Oh,
I
very much so. Yeah.
because I
And
am
protected
objective,
too.
because I am objective, sometimes you need a lion beside you to fight other lions, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hear that he's
Yeah.
only getting 20% of the minerals, but under the last regime he was getting nothing. So if he's really for the people, he have to
Mm.
give up a lot just to, you understand, and build something that maybe 30 years down the line he can say to Russia, listen, 30 years gone, we getting 20% now, I need 50. And then you understand until
Mm.
eventually you can get 100%. But under the last regime,
Mm.
they was getting nothing. So maybe the 20%
I
might
get
help.
you.
You understand? Is he really heavily backed by Putin? I hear reports because I keep one eye on him. Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Is
I hear the same. I have to agree with you in the sense that okay, do I know? Do I think he's being controlled by Putin? Not fully, but I also understand the white man enough to know that they don't do things with no reason. So if
exactly.
you see a white man trying to protect a black man,
Mm-hmm.
because typically that's his enemy, it
Exactly.
means that there's a deeper reason. But you're very correct. I think there was actually an attempted assassination against him against Ibrahim by France, and Russia actually what's it called, intercepted those missiles. So you're very correct. What you're reading is the truth, because even in Africa we can see this as well.
Oh. And this is yeah, I'm going left again, but there's a force in this on this planet, and it's not should I say it now, the real power is not in the hands of prime ministers and presidents. No, they are being
Mm-hmm.
controlled by some force. I don't know what it is. I can't. If I
Mm-hmm.
try to tell you what it is, I would come off as sound like a buffoon. You understand? Because I really don't know what it is. It could be so. It could be anything. But real power don't exist in Biden. I could not look at Biden last year and say he's the most powerful man on the planet. That's just not, that not make sense. But
Yeah.
there's this one president that you know he's the most powerful in his country, and that's Putin.
Mm-hmm.
Putin is very powerful. Whether you like him or not, he's powerful.
Very
In the
powerful.
next 3 years, Trump have to go, yeah?
Yeah,
As long as Putin is alive, he's that man in Russia. Whether you like it or
I
not,
get you.
whether I agree or not.
Mm-hmm.
So if Abraham could siphon something off, okay. If he can build, and 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we will look back and say, okay, he made
Mm-hmm.
the right choice. You see me? But I don't want what happened to Gaddafi happen to him.
That's what I'm scared of as well. And I think that's also why he's made himself very close to Russia, because he knows that if he becomes an ally of Russia, that would then complicate things with the United States. So, it's very interesting to see how this is going to play out.
Yeah.
Um, just to go back to what you were saying about how, um, just to go back to what you were saying about how, what is it that you were saying that there's a bigger power, there's a bigger force that is basically controlling
Of
the prime
course.
ministers, that real
Of
power
course.
isn't with them. The best way I can answer that is just to say, for me, every time I want to see what someone's motivation is, I just follow the money. If I see someone, especially a public figure, trying to encourage me to do something, or trying to say, okay, do this, do that, this is what is correct. The very first question that I ask myself is, who is paying who stands to benefit from
Yeah.
people listening to this? So when you have a particular politician coming with a particular rhetoric, coming with a particular tone, saying that, these are my beliefs. Yes, that could be his personal beliefs, but you also have to say to yourself, okay, who stands to benefit from people believing this, right?
Yeah.
If I want to sell, boats to many people, I need to tell people that there's a flood coming, because it's
Exactly.
you know it's I benefit from people thinking that there is a flood coming, because I want to sell boats. I know with the United States, the people who benefit from American politics the most are people who are involved in ammunition and
Of
arms,
course,
and basically
Raytheon,
providing,
Raytheon,
you know,
Raytheon is what I
exactly.
call it. You understand?
You get what I'm
Of
saying?
course.
So when I see, for example, um, you know, African leaders then partnering up with the, anti-American, or like, American enemies, then I then say, okay, the African man is not the one who came here to benefit. It's actually the white man,
Of
because
course.
generally the way that world politics works right now is African politics is used as a pawn. It's not on an equal playing field. If we look at the world, if we look at the powers that control the world, they don't want African people to have a seat at the table.
No.
Usually we're just the chess pieces on the table that they're playing on. So yeah, so I do agree with you that they are being controlled by a force that is higher, forces that we don't see. I think we will never know who the truly
Yeah.
richest people in the world
No.
are,
Yeah,
because
of course not.
we will never be told who they are. But they are the ones controlling the world, I
When,
think.
when somebody look at me now and we're having a conversation and it's, oh, Elon Musk the richest man on the planet, I'm like, you really think that? So you really think
Mm,
that? It's just
we think that
you,
no.
you, you really think that? What about the
You answer
families
to
who
someone.
what about the families who were billionaire back in the 1800s, early
Yeah,
19th century? What about the money just go
exactly.
down? You're crazy. Oh, it's
No,
just
no, exactly. No, exactly. I always say, that Elon Musk answers to someone.
of course.
Everyone, we all have a God that we answer to. That God doesn't have to be spiritual, but that God has to be something more powerful than us. Elon Musk answers to someone, Barack Obama answered to someone, Donald Trump is answering to someone. The
I agree.
people, I say that the new world order that we live in, everything we see is what they want us to see. So if they tell us that the richest man is Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos, it's because they want us to think that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's true, because Elon has to answer to someone. There is no there's no person on earth that can exist without some kind of central being that they answer to. Sometimes that central being is their ego, sometimes that central being is their pride, sometimes that central being is their trauma, but other times that central being is money, sometimes it's God, it's the devil, but there is always, even their own stubbornness, there is always something leading us. Some people then choose consciousness, and that's when you find people then waking up to the truth of the world. But we all have a master. So Elon Musk, I don't believe he's the richest man. I don't even think he's close to the richest man.
Come on,
I
listen.
think he's just a cover up. Yeah.
Are you beholden to someone? Everybody has a master,
Pardon?
you said. Who's your master?
Everyone has a master.
Who's your master?
Um, well, as similar to what I said earlier, I'm a believer in Musika Vanu, as we say here in Zimbabwe, who is the creator of all.
Say his name again.
Musika Vanu.
Musi. You have to send it for me so I can spell it
No
and
problem.
translate it
I'll
myself.
spell it out.
Is it?
No problem. I'll spell it out for you on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
And it basically means the creator of all beings, the creator of all people. It's one creator, it's one God. And that is the master that I follow. I believe that all of us needs to follow a benevolent master, whatever that is, someone who understands and sees things beyond the lens of what we can see, and holds the understanding to the nuances of the world, to the spirit realm, to things that we can't see ourselves. But unlike, I guess, the Christian doctrine, I don't believe that this God is this angry man in the sky who's ready to punish us for every mistake. I have a lot of issues with how religion has turned out to be nowadays, because I think it went from being this thing that kept us grounded in our consciousness as people to being this thing that actually now, dictates the way that we live and dictates how we,
Yeah.
not dictates the way that we live, but it's something that I feel like we have, what God was in the beginning of humanity has been perverted to, we've perverted the concept of God to something that suits, a whole other narrative. I don't believe that,
Become a
I
myth.
don't believe that there's I don't believe there's a man in the sky waiting to send you to hell.
Yeah,
I don't believe that
yeah, yeah. You don't believe there's you don't believe there's a man in the sky who
in the
watches
sky
everything.
waiting
Yeah, and he has
waiting to
yeah,
send you to hell,
he has 10 special things. Yeah, that you should not do.
exactly.
And
I know.
but
But
it's just weird. But if
and I
sorry, go ahead.
oh no, that's okay. No, no, but what I do believe is that yes, it watches us, but not because it's waiting for us to mess up, but rather it's so okay. The best way that I can explain it is this: if you choose to believe in God, you're operating under the jurisdiction of that God. But if you don't believe in God, then you're operating under a different jurisdiction. I don't believe in imposing, beliefs onto people. So I've never been comfortable with the idea of saying you shouldn't do this because my religion says so. I believe that if your religion tells you to do something or not to do something, you should listen to that for yourself. But you then don't have the right. You then are not should not then go to other people, say, because I believe in this, you are wrong.
Okay.
That's where that's an issue that I have. I believe as well that if God is real, God is one who, you know he expects us to know how to act. He expects us to, apply wisdom in the things that we do. I don't believe that he expects us to just blindly follow whatever word, a pastor says, because a lot of people will say, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a pastor, I'm this, but they have, very bad intentions. I believe that he's one that understands nuance, understands the principles of the universe. And I think, he's a good tool for us to live life and to gain consciousness, but it's not what we've been taught to believe. That's the best way that I can
Yeah,
explain it.
that's the intellectual way which you did, and you did it. You did it in a very, you say it in a very good way, yeah, very
Thank you.
educated and immaculate way. This is how I say it
Oh, thank
as a
you.
dumb guy, as a stupid
Go ahead.
man.
No, you're not
This
dumb
is
at
how
all.
this is how I say it. There is you want me to pray to this man in the sky, yeah? This who watches everything, who has 10 commandments given to us by him, and if we break any one of them, yeah, he has this special place called hell, yeah, that he will throw you in and you will suffer, yes, you will
Exactly. I don't
burn
believe that.
in agony forever and ever and ever. You will cry, you will burn, you will tortured. You will be tortured day and night. But he loves you. That's what the Bible said. He loves you. What
That
type
has
of
always
man
been
love
the
you?
issue.
What man love you and would do that to you? And wait, listen. What man love you and would do that to you? And remember, he's all wise. He's all seen. He knows all. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But he just cannot handle money. These two don't go together. You understand? It's so powerful, but you cannot handle money. Every Sunday you want money from me. It don't make sense. From the creation, from the inception of your organization, you're getting money and you still can't work it out. You see me? That's the biggest contradiction ever. The biggest contradiction ever. He cannot handle money and he loves me, but he want to push me in a lake of fire forever. He not even say kill me and finish off. No. He keep me alive in a lake of fire. What kind of love is that? That don't make sense.
That's not love.
Don't.
It's narcissism.
that does not make sense. Makes no sense whatsoever.
It's narcissism. Mm-hmm.
But I don't.
I agree.
I believe there is a force out there. You understand? I believe in African culture that before Christianity in the early in the 300 AD. This is us. That's what I said in the Nicene Council, where they create this Christianity bullcrap. Before that, I believe we had something in Africa, something. Before this European come and invent this Jesus character, what were we studying in Africa? You understand? What's my true religion? That's what I want to know. But I do not believe in this Christianity, this blonde hair, blue eye, cracker Christ. I don't believe in him. You see me? And it hurts. It hurt my heart. A lot of times to go to some black people house and see this white man on the wall. Really? You see me in 2025? Really? And they would kill me. They would attack me in favor of this white man who they will never see. And the worst thing about it, I'm here in Europe and I never see cracker Christ nowhere, nobody else. You understand? Nope. They're just like, you're crazy. That look like my cousin. That look like the junkin man on the street. We don't worship that guy. But black people, oh my God, it is us, yeah. This has to be studied. You see me?
It does. No, it does. Very, very much so. Oh, sorry. My sister just sent me a text message. I don't know if you know Charlie Kirk.
He died?
Charlie Kirk. No, he's been shot, apparently. But no, sorry. I just to get back to what we were saying, I always found the teaching that.
No,
okay,
wait.
So
I'm intrigued. 1 second. Who is this Charlie Kirk guy? He's an actor.
Oh, Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is an extreme right-wing American, an extreme right-wing American political commentator. And he was very outspoken against he's a white man, very outspoken against the Black Lives Matter movement. He's very much
Charlie Kirk. So they burned him.
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie and Kirk.
Yeah, he's very much
I am always suspicious about a guy with two first names. So pick one, please. I'm Theo. Just pick one, Mr. Kirk or Charlie. What's wrong with you? Punk.
No, he's a lot of people have also accused him of being very racist because of things that he has said about black people. I think I know
about that guy, no?
Yeah.
He's not an old guy, he's a younger guy, yeah?
He's a younger guy, yeah.
I know
he's
him.
A younger guy.
Oh, they burn him.
Yeah, he was, my sister just told me now that he was shot. I just saw, I saw a message. But, what is it called? I was saying, so the one teaching that never seems to make sense to me was, okay, so you have this God who supposedly knows the future, but then still puts a tree in the garden for them to sin.
Exactly.
Knowing that this is what they were going to do. So then he had to send himself to save humanity from himself.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because he loved us so much. That part I never understood, because then I thought, okay, because if you speak to traditional Christians, they will say, "Oh, but we have free will." But my question is, if God already knows the future, is it
Exactly.
really free will or is it a designed outcome?
It just don't make no sense. And if you like that, if you
You
like
know,
that story, you will love this. There's a little boat with every creature on the planet on it. You see me? That just don't make no sense.
imagine,
This just make total
and I
sense.
also think that a lot. I also think that a lot of the stories as well, a lot of the stories that are told in the
It's
Bible
copied
were
from
told for
African
lessons.
folklore.
Exactly, but
Of course.
also told for specific lessons. I can imagine, when parents want to talk to their young child about something, they give examples that make sense to the child. So I think some of the stories in the Bible as well are to be taken as lessons, but not necessarily as a history, as an account of history, but rather as a teaching. Because if you look at some of the teachings, some of the majority of the teachings are actually very positive and very good,
Yeah.
but then a lot of people end up then taking
Bits and
things that,
pieces of it,
you
yeah.
know it's not possible for an animal to talk to you, but then people read that and think an animal actually talks
If
to
you're
them.
high,
Do you
if you're
understand?
high, you understand. Then it
Exactly.
might, then the coach
Exactly.
might be talking to you. You understand?
Exactly.
If you're on the
Exactly.
right drugs, then the coach can talk to you, isn't it? So that's what I
Exactly.
think said.
So I think I think I prefer I think I really like the fact that there's a growing number of African diasporans who are taking interest in what life and culture and religion looks like before we made it look like someone else. Because even if you look at the concept of Jesus being white people are only 9% of the world population. 9%. If the God of the world is going to look like something, he's not going to look like 9% of the population.
For real.
If he's going to look like something, he would actually more than likely look Asian, because technically there's more Asians on earth than anyone else. So technically God should look Asian. Why should he look like the minority of the world? A lot of people forget that white people are actually the minority of the world in terms of numbers,
What?
because if you look at it, they're only 9% of the world, of the population.
And
So
just
why
to,
would God look like
I
them?
have no idea. And just to piggyback, have you talking about culture and the 9%,
Yeah.
talking about history and all that? Have you ever been to the
Hmm.
museum? Say some of the biggest here in Europe. It's all African antiques, artifacts from Africa.
Exactly.
So where's your
Exactly.
you understand? Where Europe? Where's your civilization? Where is it? You steal everything.
Exactly.
If the pyramids could be moved, it would have been moved decades ago, centuries ago, just
Big
because I
time.
could move it. Why is it still there?
Yeah.
Isn't it? That's the only reason.
Yeah.
The European
And it's
history is
and it's
Zeus. European history is
hmm
Zeus. They make up some nonsense. You see me?
hmm
Zeus and
yeah.
Aethes and this man and that man, Athena and the rest of them. You see me? And
hmm
it's mythology. But artifacts
hmm
from Africa now, it's dear. They can destroy the nose and the lips all they want. But we know. And European know. Come on. That's African lip
hmm
right there. You understand? The African lip.
hmm
You can try to destroy the little statue, but we know. Come on. No
hmm
normal. No
No, they
normal.
they they repainted history. They rewrote history in such a way that it breaks my heart that there's so many parts of
Yeah.
history that we will never know, because those parts were taken from us.
Oh, it's so sad. Listen, I have so much to talk to you about. We cannot do it in one in one setting. You see me?
That's okay.
It's just weird. And I have a princess. Well, not princess. I have a friend, Nubian queen. I would like to you guys talk on my podcast maybe tomorrow or Friday. You see me?
I can do
She's
Friday.
yeah, Friday. I would like that because I like to talk to educated people. Educated black queen.
Oh,
I will
thank
even
you.
say queen. Yeah, we
Oh,
haven't
thank
even
you.
delved deeper into your the business you have, the business aspect of what you are doing now. We just talk about history on a whole just now. You understand?
The
So
business aspect,
yeah, Yeah, your business aspect, what you're doing now, and so forth and so on. We're not going into that now. So when we talk again, because Friday we will talk again, yeah? Then we do that, and
Yes,
then
definitely.
whoop. I need maybe a 3-part series, if that's possible with you.
Oh, as many parts as you need. I'm very open. Thank you so much, Michael, for inviting me. I really, really appreciate it. And my apologies once again for not seeing your message last time. When
Oh,
my
no
video
problem.
went viral, I had so many messages coming in that there's still messages I've not opened. So thank you
Yeah.
so much for your
If you
patience.
can
And
make, if you
I
can,
really enjoyed talking
and
to you.
please, you have all rights, you have my permission to cut up this video and let it go live for me too. You see me? I like the
Yes,
subscription.
of course. Oh yeah, no, right. Go right ahead. And when it's ready, please,
Yeah, I will send it to
when
you
it's
in
ready, please
about.
send it to me.
I will figure out how to give a topic to it, and
Hmm.
I will send it to you, and you share it and cut it up and do whatever. Put bits and pieces everywhere, and I will see you on Friday, same time or 7:30.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
No, I should be thanking you, and I like the tone of your voice. Yeah, I like the way you speak. I can see your vocabulary coming through. You understand? It is well.
Oh, thank you.
You are well read. You understand?
Oh,
And
thank
I
you.
like that. I love an educated woman. I'm just being honest. You see me? I can talk for
Thank
hours, but
you.
I have to stop. You see me?
Oh,
So
that's all right. No problem. I appreciate the invite and I look forward to talking to you.
okay. So we talk again on Friday, yeah? I will put up this in 5 minutes. I
Yes,
will send it to you first and you do the rest, yeah?
that's no problem. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Educated black woman. Oh, there are few and far between, but yo, I can just sit, relax. Oh, beautiful Nubian queen. Are you not entertained? Sure you are. I bet if this video was about say dancehall bullshit in Jamaica, talking about the female jumping from trucks and from trees, popcorn content. You'd love that, yeah? But yo, this is for Africans. Open your mind. Open your mind and know, say, yo, we are not at the bottom. Pause on the bottom. We're not on the bottom of no civilization. Come up. Somebody has their foot on our heads. That's for sure. Them not like us. The only reason them not like us because them know if Africans open them eye, remember me tell you, Europe drop down. Europe is up now because Africa is down. The minute Africa come up, there's no Europe. And we know that. Europeans know that. Like, share, and subscribe. Big up yourself.